please.
Oh, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our beautiful city that we live in. At this moment in time, we need your grace and your mercy to help us make it through our trying times. Lord, give us the courage to make the right decisions and to do the things that is right and pleasing in your eyesight for our city. These and all other blessings we ask in your elder Son, Jesus' name.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Commission meeting of November 8, 2011 is called to order. First item would be adoption of the agenda. I believe Mr. Stick, you mentioned something needed to be amended.
I would like to add to the agenda the consideration of corrective restrictive covenants on the police station.
Is there a place, should that come right after citizen participation? And this is a correction for some previous documents.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, members of the commission, want to look at as far as you think?
Move we adopt the agenda. A second.
Moved by Commissioner Valentine, second by Commissioner Townsend. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed by saying no. Look at the consent agenda. Anything that you want removed from the consent agenda? Motion to adopt the consent agenda would be in order.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Stanley, second Commissioner Cook. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by saying no? We're down, I think, Leanne, tell me for sure, we're down number 5.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action on request to rent land in industrial park. Mr. Terry, are you here? If you would, do we have a mic or anything here? We've got it hidden someplace. Come on up.
I don't think I need a mic.
Boy, I want to give you the mic so it'll be live.
Last night I ever heard him talk.
I don't need a mic.
Go ahead and just identify yourself.
My name's Henry Terry. I'm a local farmer here in Madison County, and I came this evening I previously spoke with Ms. Hall about the proposing leasing the land out here in the industrial park and possibly for farming practices, and to go ahead and let all of you know and anyone else in the community, I will use no pesticides outside of the manner of any law. Pesticides have labels, and the first rule of any label is to read it. And I can assure you I will use no pesticides outside the state, local, or national laws, and I have a pesticide applicator's license also.
Now you're asking about land. How much land?
It's hard to say. I haven't went back there and looked at GPS or anything, because I wouldn't even go back there until I had come forth before y'all and got permission to even be back there. So I ain't gonna be where I'm supposed to be. So
What would you be growing?
well, just different things, peanuts and to begin with, and maybe some corn, soybeans, stuff like that. Maybe some forage crops also for like soybeans, and also some for possibly like hay for, when I say hay, like oats for hay.
Clay, what would we need in terms of a proposal to consider it? Here's something that we've got to have a little more.
You do. I think Mr. Terry will need to give us a map of the property that he wants to rent, so we'll know where it's located. From the map, we can estimate the number of acres that are there. If the commission wants to carry this forward to consider with more details, a Of course, if you approve it, we need a lease agreement between he and the city that I'll prepare and make sure it's got the protections that the city needs. And there are standard per acre rent values that we can find and go by in leasing the land if you so choose. But we'll need to see for you to approve it, need to see the area. And you can then, if you're interested, go ahead and direct me to prepare a proposed lease based upon the land that he's wanting to lease, so that you can have a map and a proposed lease for you at the next meeting to look at. Or if you want to look at the map first before directing me to proceed with the preparation, you can do that. I don't think you're obligated to bid this out to anybody else, but it's a consideration that you may want to give, that if you decide, we've not leased land out like that before, other than at the spray site, we've leased it for hay.
And they have plenty of corn out there.
And whether or not you want to run a notice to give other people the opportunity to lease it, out of a sense of fairness, that's a decision you'll have to make. You're not obligated to do that, but you ought to give that some thought. If it's a big area, if it's a small area, that may not be as important, but that's a decision you can make.
Lynn, you talked, Mr. Terry, is the land vacant now, not used?
From what I could tell, it was the land we had considered for the prison. Is it not behind Scruggs?
It's behind Scruggs. It is, I'm guessing that's the road, what is that, Harvey Green Drive that's...
Harvey Green goes this way, and then that other one is...
But anyway, I know it's behind Scruggs Concrete and towards, I guess, a tower that's back, and it's adjacent to Mr. Tom Green's property that I'm already leasing.
And I don't recall that when we did the hayfield, I don't recall that we ran notices to anyone. And the leases will probably be year to year, so that if there is a problem that comes up, you can back up and do something about it.
The only thing we need to keep in mind is that well, because that was the problem we were running with Dennis.
Okay.
So we need to check the
What is the pleasure of the commission?
I think we need a little bit more information, how many acres we're talking about, exactly where it is. We need to know how much rent that the city will be able to get from it. And as far as bidding it out, I don't see where we need to do that. Mr. Terry's the only one that's come in and asked about it. First come, first served. Next year, if somebody else is interested in it, then we have more than two people, or more than one person, then we may have to bid it out.
Mr. Terry,
I think we need to move forward.
can you provide some information, along the line we're talking about, how much?
Yes, sir. I've already looked at it a little bit on the property appraiser site, and it was very hard to try to tell how much land was there, but it'd take me about 20 minutes with my GPS to get pretty close to how many farmable acres is there. Now, there's a pretty good many acres there, but surely it's, I can't farm in the trees and have no intention of clearing it without many more years of lease.
Go ahead, what you mind.
I think it's a good idea.
I thank you for coming up
And
with the idea.
it'll keep, I did notice over the last year that y'all have to keep it mowed, so, that'll eliminate that having to be done.
There's nothing better than having a good farmer out there.
Well, I don't know how good I am, but I try.
Well, maybe we'll have rain and all the things that we need to make the crop grow.
I think you and your dad's reputation precedes you.
I'm going to throw out to the commission a question then. There are two ways, if we're interested, we can do this. Clay, you want to explain what they were? You're brief.
Sure. You can have him bring at your next commission meeting the amount and location of the land, and in his mind, what, a fair per acre per year lease would be. And if you like it, instruct me to then prepare the lease. I've done lots of farming leases, so I've got some background too in what the average per acre rent has been, and could help decide what's average and fair. Or alternative two, you can have me go ahead and prepare it based upon what Henry shows me to be the location and what seems to be an average rent, and have the lease available at the next meeting for you to look at, together with the map, and make the decision then. And I don't know how quick he wants to put crops in the ground, or if, but you will need a lease, and so if you don't have me prepare the lease now, at the next meeting, you'll need me to prepare it and approve it at the second meeting from now.
Question.
I like option two.
I understand what you're saying now. If an industry, someone comes in and wants to build or do something, what then?
I will put a provision in there that we can cancel early and give him a certain amount of time to get his existing crops off, and then the rent price is prorated based on that.
I like option two.
Okay?
I'd make a motion that we do option two, I don't know how you want.
I'll second that motion.
Hey, now what is option two again?
For me to prepare a proposed lease for you to consider at the next meeting with the map, so Henry can just call me or
Yes,
get
sir.
with me, drop the map by my office. Get an
And
error.
with y'all's permission, I will go ahead this week and go in there and as close as possible with my GPS, see how many usable acres is there.
And you can get an aerial photograph, you can outline it.
Yes, sir.
Number of
I
acres
get
on
that from
there.
my SES office.
Drop it by my office, and I'll prepare it, run it by you, and then we'll get it ready for them to consider at the next meeting.
Is the well something we need to exclude from the lease?
Don't know, because I don't know where the location of it is yet.
Well, I'll find it.
You will find the well. And you can tell us where the well is.
But we'll know to look out for that.
Wayne, do you have enough promotion there, the sense of it, or we need to?
I think the motion would be to just prepare a proposed lease for consideration at the next meeting.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Any opposed by saying no? I need to ask you, when I have something need to be done someplace, where you come in,
Yes, sir.
you just walking off, you've done well.
Oh, thank you. Is
Thank
that
you
it?
very much.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you. Next item, I hope this is right here, item 6, discuss and possibly appoint Commissioner Valentine, Assistant Treasurers of Madison County Four Freedoms Monument Project. Meyer, I couldn't call you and talk to you about it, but Mary Ann Green asked. You gonna tell us what the project is?
That's number 8, you said number 6.
Number 6.
I didn't get his new one.
I didn't get my new one.
Here's
It's laying on the tab.
It's laying in here.
Yeah.
We've had it
Sorry.
on
It's
the
really,
floor.
there's your new
Thank you.
page.
We just want to make it.
Yeah,
obvious.
we're gonna make it as hard for you as
Gotcha,
possible.
man.
I did go with her to the treasurers meeting, that she asked me to go, and what they're doing, they're looking at getting the sound so that you can punch the button and hear the story, and then they're looking at seeing what if they can put a cover over it. They still feel like it's not being properly cared for, even it was not made to sit out in the weather, So anyway, they're looking into that. They've got an opportunity to get a grant. So that was, why I went, because they asked me to come and yes, I'll be glad to be the representative.
Motion for that would be
Make a
appropriate.
motion for that. Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of appointing Commissioner Valentine, Assistant Treasurers of Madison County Four Freedoms Monument Project, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by saying no? Carried. Item number 7. Commissioner Townsend, you want to have any comments first, or?
I'll just say open it up and then we'll see.
You had asked me to prepare a request for proposals for bidding out auditing services, which I had done, but I did not get in your packet. It was a bigger task than I had anticipated when I got into it. You do have it in front of you, but a couple of complications have arisen since that meeting. We still carry forward with your direction on the RFP, but a timing issue has arisen. We have learned that Mac Waters has already been paid for doing the audit for 2011 and 12. We didn't know that at our last meeting. And I think we all had in mind that would be the first year of what we thought would be a 3-year bid for a new vendor. I think we need your direction now on whether we're going to then have that first year be the 2012-2013 fiscal year for 3 years, or whether you want to try to do something with the 2011-2012 that's already been paid for. And I'm not sure we have any good legal recourse in getting that money back. It was probably shouldn't have been paid, but now that it has, I don't know that you've got good alternatives to getting it back and not do the 2011-12 audit. So if you proceed with bidding it out, using that as the first year, the risk is you would have paid 2 people to do that one audit. Nobody has called back to discuss that. We wanted your direction on what to do first. But in either event, whether you use the 2011-2012 fiscal year as your first year, which Mac's already been paid for, or the 2012-2013 fiscal year, we have time to get the audit proposal cleaned up and ready. 95% of it's now been done. But I've got to get with Leanne, look at some of the fund reports and see the scope, get the scope of work correct in that RFP. We have time to do that even for the 2011-2012 audit.
It appears to me we need to look at 2012, 2013.
I'd say start with 2013. Just, no job there.
We've got a couple things to look at. The first one
Got
is,
time
as
to
the
do it.
attorney's mentioned, we need direction as far as what year to start with.
Why not talk to the auditor to find out about reimbursement they haven't given for? It's unusual to pay somebody that far in advance.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. So, I mean, he hasn't done the work, so why not fund the money? Won't hurt to ask. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree. That's,
it'd be so much cleaner if you just started with 13.
it'll be clean if you haven't been paid.
I know, well, we would have
I think we should ask them to give it, because now, to me.
Why was he paid?
Yeah, why was it paid?
Why was he paid?
And I
That's the
would,
question, why was he paid?
I
We
think
contacted
maybe
Mr. Emmerich and told him that he would give him what was the discount?
$2,000.
Yeah, he would give him a discount if he went ahead and paid. And I was presented with a signed invoice to pay.
That should have been brought before the board, shouldn't it? That's expensive.
That's a good suggestion.
Yes, unless it's covered in the budget, not to pay the problem. Is that right?
it wouldn't have been covered, we hadn't even got to 11 and 12, I mean, hadn't gotten that far out yet. So it wouldn't have been covered in the budget.
So what it should have been, since it was not in the budget.
What is the sense that you want?
For the last 2
Somebody
years, he's
contact?
been prepaid, so it was in the budget.
Oh, it was in the budget?
It didn't show over budgeted because he had been prepaid a year.
And it was a savings.
What if he had died?
I understand y'all completely. I work with him.
If it were in the budget, then it was probably not improper. I was thinking it was,
It doesn't seem proper, and I really, I'm being honest, I probably need to shut up, but I really have a problem now with them actually doing all of it. I mean, that's just my personal, I mean, you don't do that. You just don't do that, that's.
had,
Let's,
you know, raised the question in terms of which way to go, and that is looking at the 2012, 2013 year, or 2011, 2012 as the starting year. But the first thing is to see in terms of any, what do you call it, refund or addressing the early payment.
Well, if that's the direction the commission wishes to take, we will certainly call and ask the people.
I think we need to ask him if he'll refund the money back, because he hasn't done the audit. And, you know, that was my purpose for bringing it up, because other people have been asked, why haven't they been given opportunities to bid for the services? You know, we do have people, local people capable of doing the audit, and that's why I asked. And I think now more than ever, we need to bid it out. That's just my personal opinion.
So we have, you know, two things. You said also the proposal is 95%. There's been a lot of, several things that need to be done.
Well, the proposal can be ready under either plan that you've done. Perhaps Judy can make a motion to ask for that money back for him not to do the work during that fiscal year, and see if that passes it then.
I'll make a motion that we ask, I guess, the attorney to contact him and ask for a refund, and that we not do the work for 11, 12.
Unless he's the successful bidder.
Unless he's a successful bidder, correct?
That's good.
Yeah, that's right, that's.
Unless he's
the
unless
successful.
he's successful.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by saying no.
And then I think you've got enough time if we re-agenda it for the next meeting to hear the responses and make the decision what to do.
That sound reasonable to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else on item 7?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We've still got a little time before 6, so let's take and drop down to the revised sheet,
Sure.
number 9. I think that's where we are.
Give me just a second. I'm looking at the wrong agenda.
Take that, put it over
it
Evergreen
over.
Cemetery.
I gave you a little memorandum of what I was looking to do with this. What happens with these bond issues is we have to get a legal services agreement early in the process, which we did in April of 2010, before we know what we're really going to have to do. And normally I would do the work and just put it on the city bill that I send every month, just the regular monthly bills. USDA wants all of this work that I will do relative to the police station, funding the bill under this one legal services agreement through grant loan application. We're still well under budget. We don't have to do a waiver of the bond validation, bond transfer fees, or $5,200. I'm proposing here that the local attorney fees, which are $6,500, I had quoted $3,500, which would formally extend the work that they wanted me to do. That's about $11,000 total attorney fees. The budget had $23,000 attorney fees, so they're half of the budget for attorney fees.
There's a memo in your packet on this bill.
And that's basically what the memo says.
So you need, what do you need?
Motion to approve the revised legal services agreement and instruct the mayor to sign and write a cover letter saying
I'll make a motion
USDA.
to all that.
Does that come out of the USDA stuff, money? That's what I understood.
Stephen said there was not a
That came
problem.
out of that,
We've had a motion and a
Yeah, I
second.
read that.
We're continuing discussion around the point
yeah. That
now.
was over here.
He said he was expecting our fees to be about $8,000 there. Still way below that.
For the record, we need to mention to Mr. Davis that he should not advise on fees.
Well, I don't, you sort of have to know what you're going to be asked to do, to know how much time it comes to.
Okay. You defended it. We've had a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion is made, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by saying no. Okay, Clay, we're at number 9 now.
And,
That we just did.
That's yours.
we need to go back to the correct.
We need to have the correct
Okay.
Okay. You're right. Again.
And working on the police station grant. You'll find this humorous, I know. You got your copy, Jim?
Yeah.
Got it, okay.
Do they have copies of this?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Who owns building Clay?
The restricted, I haven't told Chief Calhoun about this yet, but I'm working on the new grant, having to do title work and report lots of things to USDA. When the first renovation was done in 2004, we had to put restrictive covenants on the building for a period of 10 years from that date. We just felt the blanks were not filled in correctly, and the blanks, and Ms. Valentine was mayor back then, and the blanks were filled out that she owned the property.
Has she been paying the taxes on it?
She said she was disappointed, but we're changing that now.
I'm very disappointed. I was expecting the loft living to stop sooner. I don't know.
To correct the record, we just need to file corrective restrictive covenants, and that's what you got a copy of, and that's all we're doing is correcting the owner's name.
You're not changing the owner to Gary Calhoun.
To be the city, it doesn't extend the restrictions, and we're most likely gonna have to place new ones on it for another 10 years with this new grant. But if you agree, your motion should be approval of the corrective restrictive covenants and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign.
Is there a motion to that?
Please let me make that motion.
You're gonna get rid of that property.
I hate to, I mean, truly, I hate to get rid of it. I mean, I wish I could realize this. There's no telling, I would have been upstairs with my loft living and it would have been going full blast downtown.
That was only after they
Yeah.
fixed it up.
After they fixed it up, yeah.
Do we have a second? Okay. Any further discussion? Clay, you want to add any more clarity?
No, sir, that's it.
All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Okay. Now, let's see. We look at number 10 here as well. I put this on, I looked around, maybe Commissioner Stanley, how does it look around the lake right now?
Mr. Mayor, I think it looks good, you know, we walk nearly every day if we can. You'll see trash around the lake, but if you come back in the next day or so, it's gone. You know, so I think the city's doing a good job trying to keep it clean, but if people quit throwing it out, it'll be all right. You know, you throw it out, they pick it up, come back, somebody else throws something else down, so. But I think really they're doing a good job getting it picked up.
I think this was an incident where there was something that went on, somebody came along right afterwards, pretty much.
It's beautiful, man.
Okay. Number 11. This is an awkward one. We agreed on a bonus in the budget, but we didn't set any guidelines, maybe we should. And I've talked to Mr. Snicker about it, and my suggestion is that all employees who are employed by the city on October 1st, 2011, and are employed by the city of Madison as of November 8th, 2011, receive a bonus. But that's just as a suggestion. I don't know the implications of that.
Well, you don't want to leave anybody out.
And what you'd be doing is, if they were just hired 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago, they don't get the bonus. They have to have been here
They don't
on
get anything
January.
off.
Not the way this is set up, you have the authority to change that. But you had to have been an employee under Mayor Catron's proposal, employed as of January 1st.
Not January,
October.
beginning of this fiscal year.
Okay, beginning, I'm sorry, you're right. And then still employed as of November the 8th.
By the 8th.
Tonight's meeting.
Okay.
Arbitrary date tonight.
Gotta pick a date somewhere.
Sounds good to me. You need a motion to approve that? I make a motion to approve that.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by saying no?
When will they get the bonuses?
At our time, dinner.
17?
Appreciate your help.
That's a tough one, but if somebody brought this to my attention and I talked to the city attorney about it, we tried to say if you have a bonus, have it in the same fiscal year for the employees who are working in the city.
That's true.
It's 6 o'clock. Do we have anybody who wanted to speak?
Nobody's.
Open and close citizen participation. If there's a demand later, we can ask the commission to reopen. Number 12. I had some suggestions that making as far as search for city manager, and they were fine stuff. What we've done so far, city clerk has put advertisements out. We've sent an announcement to the Georgia County and City Management Association. We have a deadline of November 22nd for receiving letters, resumes, and salary history. We're receiving some of those, I think, by fax, some electronically, some wander in, or however they get them. I think we'll have, I'm suggesting that at the December meeting, and this is a tough one, rather than having an extra meeting, at the December 13th, we meet at 5 to go ahead and identify candidates. To have the background checks, criminal and financial. Paul Shannon can be here, the city will be here, he will provide his assessment. You remember he said since he's not being paid, he'll feel frank to give an assessment.
Good.
But the selection of the individuals to interview will be made by the commission. I'd like you to think about, if we call general terms of the employment agreement to be looked at maybe briefly at the December meeting. I think after looking at it, the employment agreement is pretty bare bones as it is. It's not extravagant, but that's just an opinion. I'm suggesting a little further that at our meeting in January, this is a tough one, folks, that we begin at 4.
What date is January?
It's second Tuesday,
Maybe 17.
January 10th.
January 10th.
Oh, okay.
And the reason for meeting on there, I liked it when we had the meet and greet for the candidates for police chief.
Yeah.
And it was suggested that under the government in the sunshine, we really needed to call a meeting to order at 4. And that first hour, have a meet and greet period with the candidates, public welcome to come in, anyone want to do it, and then at 5 o'clock to call the meeting back into order with agenda items, and if we can, try to have that January 10th meeting a bare bones agenda. Although to advise the candidates, this is not a normal meeting.
Sounds good.
And then look at with the idea of interviews beginning at 6. I'm also suggesting here, and I made a mistake when I put it, with maybe the city to provide lodging, and I corrected myself here, community house, bed and breakfast, or maybe at the manor house in town, and if we needed, look out at the interstate, but use first in town, and Unity House, I think, provides breakfast also. But that would be for people who want to come in. The idea would be to provide lodging and meal. I didn't put anything in terms of expenses to get here. I think we're in a buyer's market. If they're interested and they're down to 3 or 5, they'll come because they know it's pretty serious. And then meet on Tuesday, January 17th, for the purpose of selecting the city manager. Authorizing the city attorney to negotiate and draft an employment agreement. And then, depending upon how successful the city manager is after we've identified our choice, 1, 2, whatever, meet at a brief special meeting, hopefully on the 24th or the 31st, with the idea of trying to have something in place by the February meeting. These are suggestions only.
Sounds good to me.
That's good. Workforce mentioned to me if they could be on this search, if they could do that, and I told them to speak to you,
And if they can post the
if
ad,
they could post an ad.
We can provide an ad to them if they want to post it.
Yeah. So I thought, they're local too.
Gosh, I thought we were covered by putting in green publications. But we,
I hadn't even thought about workforce till they mentioned it.
it was mentioned, Cheryl mentioned it.
She mentioned it.
Yeah. But we can get an ad to them. Do you see any problem with that?
No, sir.
We'll get that. They'll still need to get the material back to the city clerk.
Right, just keep everything at the same time.
Any suggestions, comments, Clay, you and I talked about this, anything here? We talked about it, and you helped me tighten it up.
You and I can fine tune it as well as it could be if the commission likes it, a motion to approve the
I
mayor's
think you've
proposal.
done a very good job.
Very good job. Thank you for your time doing this, and I make a motion to accept this.
And a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by saying no? Okay.
You probably take care of 13 by
Yes.
approval of that process.
That would be your legal team? Good. We'll get that off the board. Number 14 then. And I talked to city clerk about this. We have an employee recognition luncheon on the 17th. What time?
Noon.
Noon? And the question, we have a number of people who volunteer to serve. Those who serve on the police and fire pension board, who are officers, work. But you've got some people who serve on those boards who are not employees of the city. We have people serving on the planning and zoning board, code enforcement. And my suggestion is that, or to Leanne, was to bring it to the commission and ask if we could include these. I have neglected to ask one person, the fire chief usually handles it. I didn't ask how much of a problem this would be.
We did it last year.
Yeah.
We included all the people that was on the committee. It wouldn't be a problem for me.
Motion to extend an invitation to the members of city committees would be in order.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Leanne, do you have anything we need to do?
That's what I'll want.
All those in favor of the motion, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by saying no. Next item, and I talked to the city attorney about this and to the city clerk. And this was to ask Intel, we can ask, for the various departments to provide the commission with a brief summary of major activities, and most of them have done it.
I think it's wonderful. I learned more from this this
Yes.
month than I have in
Yes.
ages. This has been wonderful. And it's good to see names and what they're doing and what's going on. I mean, you feel like you're more of a part of the whole scheme of things. I like this.
I think it's something we should continue doing.
Yeah,
Continue.
And would you like all departments to do it?
Yes.
This does a couple of things. It helps identify for a city manager coming in what the department chairs are doing. It also gives the commission an idea, and we're in an awkward position. I think the attorneys told me this. We only have 2 employees, a city manager and a city clerk.
And the city.
Now, a city attorney. But we only deal with city attorney when there are 3 or more of us, or something like that. What do you think it would like?
I think it's a good idea. I think you could probably set that as a policy that you want the department heads to send them a written report as part of your package each month.
Not a long report.
Keep it simple
Keep it
because
simple.
they're working, they're busy. This doesn't take priority on anything. But this is good information. Just give us a little rundown of what you're doing after this one.
If that's by consensus, is that right, Lynn?
Yes.
Okay. We're down to item number 16. So go back, Commissioner Thompson. You're on.
Oh, I'm ready.
Any other items of interest to the commission? Commissioner Cooks?
Yes, on the next agenda, I would like to put on there to start searching for health insurance for the employees. Ahead of time, I know it's early, but I would like first.
When does the health insurance come up?
It just renewed.
When? It just renewed it?
Afternoon, long.
Yeah, I didn't get it, but I would like first to start seeing what's out there.
This then could be something the commission looking at as a priority when we have a new city manager. As we think about priorities, and we're on the, I've been listening to a tape. There was a man who gave a keynote address in 2004 to the Florida League of Cities. He was the president of the Godfather Institute for a while. And one of the things he mentioned in there was that one of the problems, you can't motivate people. You can remove barriers. But another thing he mentioned was that one of the problems many employees have is they don't know what's expected. And if you have, here's an idea, look at the health insurance program. That's a good one to look at, but it's also a priority of the commission. Anything else?
Wait, so do you want it on the agenda, or do you want to wait until the city manager comes and we sit
What
around the
is
table?
best? What's the best way to
I
handle
mean,
it?
you don't have anybody to work on it right
There's
now.
no-
So when the,
Like when we have our meeting and remember how we had one and told them what we expected?
right.
Things that you wanted to get him to work on, then that would be one that you would.
You have enough time to let him or her start with it in order to bid out for the next year that's not going to take.
That's a good suggestion. Anything we can do to identify priorities and being realistic. Mr. Stanley?
Appreciate everybody coming tonight, and appreciate you coming to run the focus.
Even with that story about Evergreen Cemetery.
We appreciate that even more. Thank you, Jay.
Commissioner Valentine?
Sharon Berry from the Florida League of Cities came by and left this guide for creating a city youth council with us, and that would be a really neat thing. That, I think that could be one of the agendas for our new city manager to have us work on, because getting young people interested in city government and county government and just interested in their city, I think would be really neat. And several of them, young people have mentioned it to me, how that they are interested. So this is one of those things that we need to pursue and get going and hopefully create some future commissioners and good citizens around here. That's it.
I'm trying to think, it's 6:15, that's too early to leave, isn't it? Leanne, is it too early to leave? Is that too early to leave?
That's right, see that in the rules anyway.
Then a motion to adjourn would be in order? Is there a motion to adjourn? I haven't heard one.
Second.
Second.